Hey guys, this is Brad Allen of Elite Duck Calls. Really excited to be back here in Blue Chair Studios. We're going to follow up with the instructional that we recorded for duck calling, the art of flight control. And today I have with me Mr. Steele Jessup. Now Steele is one of the top guides in the state of Arkansas. He owns Steele Bar Outfitters, and he is also one of the best specklebelly goose callers that I have ever heard. So get comfortable, get your spec call out, let's get ready to learn.
Hey guys, this is Steele Jessup here to show you the new Elite Spec Call. I'm going to show you how to run this thing today. Hope you enjoy it. I'm going to show you some of my techniques that I've learned with it over the years. So sit back and enjoy. First and foremost, to make this call run properly, you have to hold it properly. You have to block off the back part of it just a little bit and cup your hands around. And what that does is creates back pressure and breaks the reed and makes the yodeling sound that you're looking for in the call. Once you find your grip that's comfortable for you, you need to learn how to put air into the call. I'll turn around backwards to show you. It's just two sharp blasts, and what that does, the reed will break over itself if you have your hand on the call properly. I'll show you. Now we're going to talk about putting together a sequence of calls. Remember to hold the call correctly, make sure you have your hand around it to put back pressure on, put the call against your mouth like you're drinking a Coke bottle, and the air that you put into the call needs to come from your gut. What we're going to do is put a 2-note together with a 3-note. Slowed down, it's real simple. All you're doing is putting a shot of air into the call with the back pressure from your hand, letting the reed do the work. What makes the specklebelly very unique is the yodel he does make, the crack in his voice, how it goes up and down. This call can be used as a snow call if not applied the back pressure that it needs. And I'll show you with 2 notes of just a blast of air. That's a straight snow goose call. But if I hold the call and wrap my index finger around to where it's almost touching my palm and then cup my hand around and use that, and do the same 2 blasts of air, and I'll show you the difference. Okay, we've talked about how to hold the call, how to put the call to your lips, and how to put air into the call. Now let's talk about when to call. First of all, you have to get their attention. And sometimes that requires being loud with them, and that's where your 2- and 3-note yodels are very important. You have to get them to know that there's something going on down there to get them to look at you. Once they start coming your way, that's when you start slacking up a little bit on your call and lighten it up. Let's talk about getting their attention. Sometimes you have to be loud with them. I'm going to show you some of the calls that work best for me when I'm hunting. If you get loud with them and get their attention, they're going to know something's going on down there. Then that's when they start taking a look at you. Now that we've got the bird's attention, we need to read him. A lot of times they'll come in and they'll say something to you. They'll give you that 2-note or 3-note yodel. Say that back to him if he does it. If he's coming in fast and hot, don't say anything. He's coming to you. If he starts veering off to the side, that's when we need to apply another call. That's when we need to get him coming back in our direction. They're always going to come to that call. That's what they're looking for. So if he starts veering away from you, that's when you hit him again. Now that we've got this bird's attention and he's coming, we want to finish him. The best way to do it that I've found is right when he gets there, give him a little confidence call. It's just basically making it a lighter yodel. What I like to do is pinch my hand down a little bit harder, and just so I can just be a little bit easier on the call, and I'll show you. It's real easy, not put near as much air into the call and just giving him something to let him know that it's okay to be down there. Okay, we've gone over basics. That's when birds are working well and everything's going fine. These birds have a very large vocabulary and they say a lot of different things that we need to learn how to use and when to use them. And I'm going to show you a few of them. We've gone over the 2- and 3-note yodel. Let's talk about the advanced yodel. This is where you need to learn to use your tongue. It's a lot like whistling a dog. When people whistle in their dog, they If you can do that, you can do the advanced yodel, and I'll show you. And all I'm doing is the same thing as what a whistle would be. I'll show it to you in the back of the call. I'm using my tongue as a valve to create those sharp blasts of air to get that sound out of the call. Okay, now let's talk about the cluck. This is a very important call. This is one of their feeding calls, kind of like a feeding call to a mallard. When they're on the ground and they're feeding hard, you'll hear the cluck, 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 cluck. And I really think that's when they get aggressive with each other, saying, this is my food, not yours, back off. It really gets the birds fired up. And what you're doing is using your tongue to put just a simple sharp blast of air into the call. But you're just going back to back to back. And I'll show you. You can vary that up by moving your back fingers, keeping the back pressure with your middle finger, but taking the back 3 fingers and just slightly picking them up just a little bit. The variations aren't coming from me putting more air into the call, they're coming from me using my fingers like that. Alright, finally, let's talk about the murmur. This is the call that they're getting really nitty gritty with each other. And it's not a call you use when they're way out. It's a call that I like to use when they're right on top of you, real close so they can hear it, because it's really not a loud call, but it's one of those feeding calls that they use. It's definitely one that they're definitely saying, this is mine, don't take it, just stay back. And I'll show it to you. Hold the call just the same way, but what you're saying to the call is using your tongue to make a kind of a yo-yo sound, you might say. It sounds like this. And you notice when it changes, all I'm doing is taking my hand and just popping it just a little bit. I'm not saying anything different to the call. I'm just taking my hand and moving it just a hair. This is what it sounds like from the backside. That's a hard call to learn, but when you get it, it'll help you kill birds. Okay, I'm gonna give you a scenario of what might happen out in the field. You're sitting there in the blind, you got your decoys out, and you see a group of birds way off in the distance. You hit them with what a duck caller would call a hail call. Just enough to get their attention. Once they turn to you, they start seeing the decoy spread. That's when you start just listening to them. If they say something, mimic it with a 2 or 3 note, maybe advanced yodel, and then they'll start coming to you. Then, when they start locking up, I like to use the cluck a lot because that really gets them fired up. So you hit them with a bunch of clucks in a lot of different ways. What that does is fires them up. It'll lock them down, and they'll start losing altitude because they'll know something's down there. A lot of times they'll make a circle around. That's when they come right over the top and get past me, and they're not looking directly at me. That's when I like to use the murmur. And then they'll make their swing out to the right or the left, whichever way. Hit them with just a soft, advanced yodel. Maybe throw in a cluck and mix it in. And right there at the end, I like to just barely, lightly cluck them in. That's when they put their feet down and you go to work. Had a blast shooting this video today. Hope you learned something. Just remember that calling is just one step in the process of actually killing birds. You gotta find them, you got to hide from them, and you gotta get your decoys right. If you throw all that together with some good calling, you'll have fun out in the field.
Well guys, I hope you enjoyed watching this video as much as we enjoyed making it. Don't forget to check out our selection of calls at elitecalls.net, and if you're looking to book a great hunt in Stuttgart, Arkansas, give Steele a call at the number on your screen. Kill 'em.